Hey everyone, in the last video I went over the PPP loan forgiveness checklist for the 3508 EZ. If you haven't watched that video, I would go back and watch that because that'll help you determine if you're eligible to use this form. If you are, in this video we're going to be going over in detail how to complete the 3508 EZ form for your loan forgiveness. This video is brought to you by my Franchise CPAs and First Financial. Okay, so I had done a video previously going over the loan forgiveness app, and this was before the PPP Flexibility Act. So the Flexibility Act came out and it basically went, hey, we're giving everybody about 2 months to use up all this money. It might be too short of a time frame. A lot of companies were voicing concern that 2 months wouldn't be enough. Really, it's 56 days would not be enough to spend all the PPP funds. So that period has been extended now from what was about 8 weeks to 24 weeks. And the thing is, if you're applying for PPP loan for forgiveness, the default is now 24 weeks. However, if you would like to keep to the original period, maybe you'd already used up the money and 8 weeks was plenty of time for you, then you can always go and apply for that initial term and apply for forgiveness now. But for the majority of companies that are going to need that additional time, the extension is actually a great thing. So let's go ahead and look here how we would apply for loan forgiveness now. Very, very similar to the way it was before. The form is almost identical. It's just become simpler. You still need to put the legal name of your business. You'll find this on your articles. If you are an LLC, it'd be your articles of organization. If you're a C Corp, you would find that on your articles of incorporation. Okay. DBA or trade name, if applicable, you'd only have a DBA name if you applied for it. You might also be a sole proprietor, and all you have is a DBA or a trade name. So that is also possible. The business address should match your articles. So whatever address you put as the physical address of your business when you created your business should be the same address that goes here. And this should also match your PPP app. So whatever address you provided as your business address, unless it changed, which probably didn't, then that should match. The business address should match. If you are an LLC or a C Corp, you're going to want to put your EIN here. You might not have an EIN, and then you can just use your social. You also have your business phone. Who is the primary contact? Like this is most likely you, and then your email address. The SBA PPP loan number, loan amount, the lender's loan number, and the PPP loan disbursement date, and the employees at time of the application. You should be able to get all of this from your PPP loan document. So this will specify when you originally got your loan, all of these amounts should be on the document itself. Now the employees at the time of forgiveness application, that's really depends on, as you're going about and filling this out, how many employees do you currently have. And that's important because they're looking for no reduction in number of employees unless your business has been affected significantly by the pandemic and you haven't been able to operate at normal levels. You're also going to want to put here your EIDL advance amount. If you did get an EIDL, this is the grant that you received up to 10K at the beginning of really soon after applying for the EIDL. So this is up to 10K. It depends on what you actually received. And then the EIDL app number if applicable. You're going to want to mention here the frequency in which you pay employees. Do you pay them weekly, bi-weekly, twice a month, monthly? Next is our covered period. The covered period is either going to be the new covered period, which begins on the disbursement of your loan, so whatever date you actually received funds, to now the total period will now be 168 days. So you would count whatever date you received your loan and then 167 additional days for a total of 168 days. This was previously 56 days. And you can still use 56 days if you would like to, but only if you received your loan, your PPP loan, before June 5th. So 168 is the new norm, but if you received your loan before before 6/5 or June 5th, then you can still use the shorter period. And you should only use the shorter period if you did in fact expend all of the PPP funds in that time frame. The alternative payroll covered period, the days are the same. The only difference is you don't start at the disbursement. You start at first day of first pay period following disbursement. And this is more for administrative ease. If we're in the middle of a pay period, can we just begin at the beginning of our first pay period following disbursement? You're allowed to do that only for bi-weekly or more frequent pay periods. Can't use this if you're on twice a month or monthly. This next checkbox here is if borrower received PPP loans in excess of $2 million, you would check here. It's only if you received excess of $2 million in PPP funds. Okay, so let's go about calculating now our forgiveness. We're going to take all of our payroll costs, and again, this includes gross payroll, and the easiest way of thinking about this is it's really your cash compensation. What cash are you outlaying that is really for the benefit of the employees? So what is that? That is salaries slash wages. That is paid leave, whether for sick or for vacation, tips, commissions, any employer paid or employer supported health insurance, or retirement. So if you're contributing to an employee 401k, that would be included in payroll costs. So you're going to put that number here. Any interest you're paying on business-related mortgages would go here. Business rent or lease payments would go here. And any business utility payments. So you're going to add up lines 1 through 4. You're going to add these, and that amount's going to go in line 5. You're going to put the amount you received in PPP funds in line 6. You're going to determine if the 60% requirement is met by taking your payroll costs. So whatever that added up to. And you're going to divide that by 0.60 and put that amount here in line 7. And then the forgiveness amount is the smallest of these 3 lines. So whichever one is the smallest is going to go here. And that's really it for the numbers side of the app. If we scroll down here, what we can see here is certain things that you have to attest to, just to make sure that the dollar amount you want to be forgiven for was used for what it is implied to be used for. Payroll costs. You met the period. Your payroll costs were at least 60% of the forgiveness amount. And if you meet all those requirements, you'll put your initials here. Let's say if you're John Doe, it'd be JD. I understand that if the funds were knowingly used for unauthorized purposes, there, civil or criminal fraud charges can apply. Salaries were not reduced by more than 25%, which we saw on the checklist, to determine if you're even able to use this easy form. The borrower has accurately verified the payments for the eligible payroll and non-payroll costs. Submitted the appropriate documents to the lender. Information provided is, and all supporting documents are true and correct in all material respects. Tax documents that I submitted are consistent with those the borrower has submitted or will submit to the IRS. So whatever you provided as tax documents to the lender has to be exactly what you're filing to the IRS. No funny business there. And just knowing that the SBA can request additional document or support if needed to determine your eligibility. So you have to initial one of the following 2. That you did not reduce the number of employees or hours. So that was the first, that was the second check mark in the checklist in the other video that I did here. Or if you weren't able to operate at the same levels as you did prior to February 15th, then you are not required to meet this not reducing employee criteria. But again, only if you experienced shutdown because of the pandemic. Then all you have to do is sign, print, date, and put your title. And that is it for the PPP Loan Forgiveness Form 3508 Easy app. There is an additional form here if you want to provide demographic information for the purposes of the SBA. You can, don't have to. And they just ask about your veteran, your gender, race, and ethnicity. So again, you can do this if you'd like, but don't have to. And that is it for the PPP Loan Forgiveness app and the updates that came with the Flexibility app. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment here below. And that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.